Whoever told me to read Mistborn A Secret History directly after the first trilogy, you saved my life. You truly did. That was the sweetest, most perfect novella I could have read, and it brought such closure to me after reading and being so heartbroken over the ending of the trilogy. I am begging on my hands and knees for Brandon Sanderson to write Mistborn Secret History 2 and 3. I had people up and down arguing in my comments whether or not you should read the Secret History novella in between Mistborn Era 1 and Mistborn Era 2, because if you aren't familiar with Brandon Sanderson, there's a whole separate trilogy that is like 300 years later than the original trilogy. A lot of people say that the little novella in between, it gives you like a minor spoiler for the second trilogy. Most people were telling me to read it anyways, and I took that advice and was like, okay, period, you're right, I'm gonna read it, because I just needed closure. And honestly, I know myself, and the story is so like serious and like in my mind so much right now because I just finished it. And then Mistborn Secret History is all about those same characters from the trilogy. And so if I would have waited until way later when I read the second trilogy to read that, it would not have hit as close to home. If you are someone who just finished the trilogy, I highly recommend, even though I haven't read the second trilogy and I don't really know what it spoiled, it really made me want to read the next trilogy because I kind of see like where it could be going, but it really, really intrigued me. There's little hints and clues within the novella that are going to help you read the second trilogy. Even though I haven't read it, that's just kind of the vibe that I got. And so if you haven't read that and you've only read the first trilogy and you're scared for it spoiling things, I don't think that it spoiled enough for me to be deterred from reading it. It actually made me want to read it more. And I think that it matters more to you, like the story and the characters matter more to you because you just read it. So I highly recommend. I'm not an experienced Brandon Sanderson reader. That was my first trilogy. Obviously, you guys know we've been on this journey together, but it really made me want to dive into the Cosmere more. Like, that novella just wrapped everything up beautifully for me, and I loved it so much. So from a new Brandon Sanderson reader to you, who might be a new Brandon Sanderson reader, I vote read it. I think that it was a great decision for me.